Hello, good morning, and welcome to our first introductory topic into IT project management. First of all, I want to welcome all of you back to Sandwich One, and I believe you had a nice time, and we are back to continue with our lesson. Welcome to level 400. First of all, so let's go straight to our introductory lesson. That is chapter 1 of the project management, and that is introduction to project management. I've already given you some materials. That is a book by Kathy Swaby, and that's what we shall be using. So I believe that you have begun reading them. I want everybody to read ahead of me and follow the instruction. Like I said, install Microsoft Project 2013. We shall be using it for some practical aspect of this particular course. So let's begin right away. Project management. Now, first of all, when we talk of, let's see our learning objectives. As we set up for this lesson, I want you to keep this in mind. We should understand the growing need for better project management, especially for information technology. Of late, IT rules the world, and a lot of IT projects have gone on. How were they executed, and how can we execute a future IT project, especially as you complete school? Probably you're given a task in your school to lay some IT infrastructure. How do you go about it? That is some of the things we shall be going through. So first of all, we should be able to explain what a project is, provide examples of IT projects, list various attributes of projects, and describe what we call the triple constraint of project management and the rest. Let's go into that is the slideshow mode, and then we should be able to describe project management and discuss key elements of the project management framework. Okay, and then including project stakeholders, project management knowledge areas, common tools and techniques we use in projects, and a project success. All these are part of our objectives as we go through this course. So, what is the relationship between project, program, portfolio management, and the contribution of each makes to enterprise success? And then we should also understand the role of project managers by describing what they do, what skills they need, and the career opportunities for IT project managers. And then we should also be able to describe the project management profession, including its history. Okay, most of us don't even know that project management is a big profession that pays very well. And after we go through this course, we will understand what it is. So let's move straight to the introduction. Now, nowadays, a lot of projects are abound, okay, and a lot of interests have gone on. Now we have what we call project management professionals. That after IT, you can do this course. I think it's a certificate course, and you become an expert in project management. Daily, when you go through certain job websites, daily graphics, and other newspapers, you see people are being sought for to undertake certain projects, some worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars worth of projects. And it will surprise you what it is about. So our introduction, we are saying that while the worldwide IT spending was $3.8 trillion in 2014, and a 3.2% increase from that of 2013. So you see that it's increasing. Currently, I don't have the current spending on IT projects for 2019-2020, but you can find out and see. By now, we're talking about over $20 trillion worldwide. So the Project Management Institute estimates demand for 15.7 million project management jobs. That is from 2010 to 2020. And out of this, almost 6.2 million of those jobs are located in the United States. Okay, so if you go to the Americas, United States, Canada, currently Britain, and the rest, project management actually provide large number of jobs than many of the areas you know. Because from building of softwares to construction of IT infrastructure, almost every job is undertaken in a form of a project. And that is the reason why we need to study this course and abreast ourselves to the modern trends of project management. Now let's go on. So project management statistics, let's look at them briefly. In 2013 alone, okay, in the recent survey that were carried out, the average salary in the US for project management for someone was $108,000 per year. Divide this number by 12, and then you will see the amount paid for a month. Okay, and then that is for United States. In Australia, it was $134,000 per year. And Australia is the highest paid country for project management professionals. And then we have in Egypt, it was seen that it was the lowest paid country. That was $24,000 per year. So the lowest country, like Egypt, were paying about $2,000 per month. Ask me how many jobs in Ghana receive $2,000 per month. That means even the lowest country paid higher than most of the salary rates that we have in the country. So we think that top skills employers look for new graduates like you coming out now, okay? College graduates are all related to project management. In fact, we say that we should be a team player. You should be able to do this. That means you should be able to actually join a project team, to be able to end good decision making, problem solving. What problem are they solving? Most of these problems are in the areas of what? Undertaking projects. So most of the skills that are required from first degree graduates for employment are mostly project management skills. So that means you can't neglect it. Other than that, because even in your own organization, most of the things you're going to do are based on projects. You should be able to follow certain rules and have certain skills in order to fit. So it is estimated that organizations waste around close to over $110 million for every $1 billion spent on projects. That is a survey from the Project Management Institute. We call them Project Management Institute Pulse of the Profession report. It comes out almost every year. This one was copyrighted somewhere in 2016. And listen to this, over $110 million out of every 1 billion spent is wasted. Why is it wasted? Probably as we go through the lesson, we all get to know why it is wasted. Now, what is the motivation for studying information technology project management? Now, IT projects have terrible track records, meaning we have had countless of what? Failures with IT projects. Failures ranging from inability to undertake the project to undertaking the wrong project to wrong product functionality after the project. Okay, so that means there could be several kind of failures. So how? Now let's take a history, a dive through the history of project management. In around 1995, Standards Group study, we call them chaos, found that only 16.2% of IT projects were successful in meeting what we call scope, time, and cost goals. Only 16%. These are what we call it triple. Alright, actually, we're going to explain that. And over 31% of IT projects were cancelled before they were completed. That's why I was telling you that from what? The failure of undertaking the project itself. And PricewaterhouseCoopers study found that overall half of all projects fail. Okay, half of all projects, that is 50% of all projects fail. And only 2.5% of corporations consistently meet their project target for these triple what? In fact, these are the main points in project management. That is the most important parameters of project: the scope, time, and cost. And we're saying that only 2.5% meet, for example, all the scope, that is the extent for which we want to do the project, the time we schedule the project to take, and the cost, okay, that we want to, all of them. Only 2.5% of all projects meet their targets on these three items. So that means that most of them, either the scope is below or extended, time is overused, okay, or cost is actually exaggerated before the project is completed. So that is exactly what we are talking about. Now, why do we need to use a formal project management approach? First of all, let's look at these advantages. We want to better control of all financial, physical, and human resource aspects of the project. If you want to achieve these controls, then you have to need a formal project management approach. And then it also brings about customer relation improvement. The idea is this: if you are using the formal approach, it has a component where you bring the customer in most of the time. So before the project is completed, the customers are already in and they have accepted to use the project. And that makes the project more successful than you sitting in your house and the customers are also somewhere. So it also brings about shorter development time because you plan the time. You need to meet the time scope. Lower cost, that means you achieve the optimal cost of the project if you use the project management approach. And then it results in higher quality and increased reliability. Whatever you want the project to be achieved, if you use the project management approach, because it helps you to bring a lot of things together, that helps you to achieve a higher quality of the project, and then the reliability of the project also increase. So if you spend lower, then obviously you gain higher, okay? And then you improve the productivity for both the organization undertaking the project and then the users of that particular project. And then we have better internal coordination because you have several people undertaking several activities within the project. When you use the formal project management approach, all these activities and people are better coordinated and they are able to execute the project within scope, within cost, and within time. Okay? And then higher worker morale because all of you are together, you get the encouragement, you're able to work hard to achieve whatever you want. So these advantages, as we go through the course, you will come to realization how they are advantages, okay, or how they help to improve project management. Now let's see, first of all, we've been talking about project management, scope, and the like. What is project? How do you define a project? So when we talk of a project, we're saying that it's a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Okay, so project management is not something like you start and you don't finish, like you take an employment and that is it. No, it is something we have crafted to start from a certain point and end at a certain point. Okay, operations is work done to sustain the business. Every day you undertake an operation in an organization, and that operation must go on. If you are a bank, what are the main operations of a bank? Receive deposits, pay out monies, and so on and so forth. These become the daily operations. Projects end when their objectives have been reached or the project has been terminated. So for instance, if we undertake a project to establish a network infrastructure in a school, once we start, the project has begun. Once we deploy the infrastructure and handover, the project is completed. So it has a start and a finishing what? Times. That must be achieved. That is a project. So it's a temporal thing. And projects can be large or small and take a short or long time. So in effect, a project can take even a day, a week, a month. And some projects can also last for years. Okay? So it could be development of a small software to manage a timetable, or to deployment of a very large infrastructure to manage the network of a country. So that is the nature of a project. Now, let's look at some examples of an IT project. For instance, a team of students create a smartphone application and sells it online. Okay? Like some of the projects you undertake during your final year, the one you just did, the project proposal. It can be described as a small project being undertaken for a small activity, like a smartphone application which sells online. A company develops a driverless car. You know, doing a car will take you a year or more to bring out a whole car. This time, the car is what? Driverless. No physical driver sitting. Or a government group develop a system to track child immunizations. Okay? And then a global bank acquires other financial institutions and need to be consolidate systems and procedures. You come and acquire, let's say, a Barclays Bank that is all over the world. And then you have to join it to yours. Now you need to really consolidate, okay, the whole system and procedures and put them together. That can take you from several months to several years to do. So all these are examples of projects. Now, as at 2012, top strategic technologies were computing. That means computing were expanding. Computing was everywhere. Every country was adopting new technologies for jobs. The Internet of Things came around, 3D printing and so on. Then advanced, pervasive, and invisible analytics, like data analysis, big data, I mean, a whole lot of things. So a whole lot of things came about that requires additional skills to projects that really undertakes these things. Now, let's look at some of the media snapshots, some of the unproductive projects that we have had so far. Now, Gartner predicted that by 2014 there will be more than 70 million mobile application downloads every year, but it was almost doubled. What we mean here is that applications doubled to over 140 billion mobile applications that are available for download, though the prediction was about 70 billion. But most of these apps are not workable. If you go to Google Play Store, if you want a small app to undertake something small on your phone, you see hundreds of these apps. Sometimes when you download them, you install, they don't do what they claim to do. So most of these apps are unproductive. So it makes it very difficult to find out which app is good to download. Sometimes before you get the right one, you have downloaded about 3 or 4. Okay? So for me, most of the times I look at the apps and I go for the one with the highest size to download. And most of the time, those with the highest size of the app normally works better. So Facebook is by far the most downloaded app, and most popular category are mostly games. And then here the challenge is to develop a useful app and get workers to focus on them instead of the many distracting options available, like what I just said. You go to Play Store, you see hundreds or thousands of these apps, most of them are not working. And sometimes they distract you from finding the right app to even download. Now let's look at some of the attributes of a project. First of all, a project has a unique purpose. When we talk of unique purpose, it's set up to do something uniquely. You cannot do a project that you don't know what the project is going to do. That's why sometimes you bring your project proposals And then we ask you, what exactly do you want to achieve? Some of you, you come and you don't have a clear purpose for the project. When the project is ambiguous, its functionality will be ambiguous because you wouldn't know what the project is actually doing. And it's temporal. Projects are not eternal. That means it must have a specific time frame to start and complete the project. In your case, you have 1 year to complete a whole project for us to assess you. And it's developed using progressive elaboration. Progressive elaboration. That means you develop the task from 1 to the end. And these tasks must be what? Coordinated. Each of them has a specific time it must begin and end. If you don't do it that way, then you will not achieve both what? What you want to achieve with time, scope, and then the cost. Okay? And it requires resources. Every project requires resources to deal with. And it's often from various areas. Yes, so you should have a primary customer or sponsor. When you are doing project, it is either you have a targeted customer that you're dealing the project with and you're doing the project for. And that customer must be part of the project development. Okay? And mostly these customers are the sponsors. Or either a company has contracted you to do that project and that company is sponsoring the project. How do we understand that? So a project sponsor usually provides the direction and the funding for the project. So that's why it should be involved. And every project involves uncertainty. That means you can't have all your requirements from start to finish. There is an inherent uncertainty that you must be prepared for and cross successfully when you get there. Now let's see, projects and program managers. First of all, when we talk of a project manager, he works with the project sponsors, project team, and other people involved in a project to meet project goals. So we are undertaking a network infrastructure and you are the boss, the head. So you become the project manager. I hope we understand that. So that is a project manager. Then we have a program. A program is a group of related projects managed in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. So when you have a related projects, not one, several projects. Listen, an organization can undertake several projects, or you have a very large project. You can divide them into sub-projects. Each of them has a separate manager working, but the project is coordinated in such a way that they all combine to achieve a particular purpose. That is a program. Okay? So when you have a group of related projects and you manage it in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control, that you don't have in managing them individually. That's when you manage the projects individually. Okay? So you put them in a program. So program managers oversees programs. Okay? Often act as bosses for project managers. In fact, when you have several projects that are coordinated, the head becomes a program manager. But for each of that project, we have a program or project manager. Okay? You have a project manager for individual projects, but the overall boss for all the projects combined is a program manager. So let's not confuse with what a program is and what a project is. Now let's look at what we call the triple constraints of project management. Successful project management means meeting all the three goals. And these goals are scope, time, and cost. Okay? And satisfying the project sponsor. I mean, look at this. We have scope goal, cost goal, and time goal. We call them the triple constraints of project management. They are the most important constraints that you should meet in every project. If you don't meet any of these three, you have trouble as far as the project is concerned. Okay? So time, cost, and goal. That is it. Now, what is project management? We've defined project, we've defined program, but when we say project management, what is it? A project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project requirements. Okay? So you are to undertake a particular project. You schedule the activities, okay, and then you add time and the knowledge, all the tools you require all together. When you put everything together, that is what we call project management. So when you apply time, the knowledge, the tools, the techniques, everything together to meet the requirements of a project, you're undergoing through what we call a project management. And project managers strive to meet the triple constraint, okay, and also facilitate the entire process to meet the needs and expectations of project stakeholders. That the stakeholders are the users, the owners, and everybody involved. So let's look at the project management framework. We have what we call 10 knowledge areas. These 10 knowledge areas in scope, we have scope management, time management, cost management, quality management. We have human resource management, communications management, risk management, procurement management, and stakeholders management. And if you look at the course outline I gave you, these 10 knowledge areas form the course content of what we are going to go through. So if you go through the course content, you see that these are the areas we have listed to go through. So before we end this particular course, by the close of this session, we would have gone through all these 10 knowledge areas. Now, project stakeholders are the people involved in or affected by project activities. So stakeholders, like I said, the project sponsor, the one you're doing the project for, the project manager, the project team, everybody that is part of the project, support staff, customers, users, suppliers, and opponents even to the project. Okay? Because you must be able to convince the opponents or overcome the activities of opponents. And these opponents we are talking about can be part of the organization you are building a project for. You can never get 100% of the people buying into a project. Okay? So you still have opponents and as part of your stakeholders. Now let's look at the 10 project management knowledge areas. First of all, knowledge area describe the key competencies that project managers must develop. Project managers must have knowledge and skills in all 10 knowledge areas. And these knowledge areas include project integration, scope, time, cost, quality, human resource, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholders, like I just mentioned earlier. And this text includes the entire chapter, like I just said. That's what we should be going through. So project management tools and techniques assist project managers and their teams in various aspects of project management. Some specific ones, as we know, we have what we call project charter, scope management, and the WBS scope is a scope management. And then we have the Gantt chart, which I'll be going through, network diagrams, critical path analysis, critical chain scheduling, that's for time, and cost estimates and end value management. We shall be seeing all these one by one as we go through the course. Now let's look at some of the super tools we use in project management. So when we talk of super tools, they are tools that have high use and high potential for improving project success. So some of the examples of these super tools including software for task scheduling, okay? That is project management softwares. We shall be using some of them. The Liberal, the Project 2013, all are part of these kind of softwares I'm talking about. We have project scope, requirement analysis, and then lessons learned reports. We have tools already extensively used that have been found to improve project importance include what we call project reports, kickoff meetings, Gantt charts, and then change requests. All these are software tools. And then let's look at What went right? Improved project performance. Let's look at some of the histories of some of the successful projects that have been executed so far. So the standards group called chaos. Mhm. Studies show improvement in IT projects in the past decade. That means failures of the past are being improved now. And the number of successful IT projects has more than doubled from 16% in 1994. Look at this, 16% in 1994 to 39% in 2012. I haven't taken the current statistics. Okay, so as of 2012, 39% of all projects were successful. And the number of failed projects decreased from 31% in 94 to 18% in 2012. So you see the sharp decrease there. So success rates were much higher for small projects than large projects. 76% versus 10%, meaning that 76% of all small projects succeeded, whilst only 10% of large projects succeeded. So the question is, why do large projects fail? We should be able to answer that. So project success, there are several ways to define project success. Okay, now let's take some of the ways. The project met scope, time and cost goals. That is one. Project satisfy the customer. If you meet time goals, cost goals, and so on, and then the customer is not satisfied, in other words, you haven't succeeded 100%. The result of the project met its main objective, such as making or saving a certain amount of money. For instance, you set up a project, you say, oh, after this project, I want this amount to go in. If you don't succeed in that, that means you didn't succeed 100%. So the goals of the project must be achieved, such as making it, so on, so on. So providing certain good return on investment. That means the project you did, is it able to achieve what you intended to achieve? That also measures the success rate. And simply making the sponsor happy. You finish and the sponsor says, wow, I can clap for you. This project is helping me. And that means you have. So what helps project to succeed? Let's find out. First of all, you must achieve an executive support. Top management of the organization must be ready to support. Once you do that, you have that. Then you have certain amount of success. Then user involvement. If you don't involve the users from the beginning, they may reject the outcome of the project. When you involve them, they are able to actually let you know exactly how they want the project to be. And you achieve a better project done when you don't involve them. And then clear business objective. You must set up your objectives. That's why when you came, we said that your objectives must be what? Sharp and smart. Your objectives must be clear, unambiguous. So that when you finish, you can test that objective. When your objectives are not clear, you don't meet them because you go there and then you see that the customers will be extending what the project is supposed to. And then emotional maturity. This is very important. I've told you there are uncertainties in projects and you must be ready to face uncertainties. So if you are the type that usually break down when there is small uncertainty, then you cannot handle projects. Then optimizing the scope. Okay, the scope must be what you want it to be. Then we have the agile processes must be successful. Project management expertise. You must have skilled resources, and then you must be succeed in execution of the project. Then you must also have in ready tools and infrastructure to undertake the small project. So the standard group called Chaos, normally they have a manifesto around 2003. Their manifesto for undertaking a project is that think big, act small. You must think big of the project, but you act in a small pace in order not to make a lot of mistakes. Now, top 3 reasons why federal technology projects succeed. First, you must have adequate funding, staff expertise, and then engagement from all stakeholders. Stakeholders engagement are key. That is where you define the objective of the project properly. If you don't involve stakeholders, you cannot get that clear objective that we stated. So take note. And then your staff that you employ, you must make sure they have the expertise to undertake whatever activity you give to them. And then you don't undertake the project to the middle and your funds are are done with. That is dangerous. So what do the winners do? Let's see some of them so that we can apply some of them as we progress in life. So recent research findings show that the companies that excel in project delivery capability use an integrated project management toolbox. Okay, that means standard or advanced project management tools. A lot of templates are there. Then grow project leaders, emphasizing business and soft skills. You don't wake up one day and then you said, I'm a project manager. They grow them, okay? Train them. So if you want to be a good project manager, then you must be ready to train yourself, okay? And learn all the skills in project management. And then develop a streamlined project delivery process. Measure project health using metrics like customer satisfaction or return on investment. If you are the project manager of an organization and you spend about $100,000 to undertake a project and you gain back $1 million in return, then your management will be happy. Okay? But if we spend about $200,000 on you and you bring about $150,000, I mean, obviously, you are actually causing a mess for the organization. So, program and project portfolio. Let's be fast and define these. A program is a group of related projects. I think we've defined them already. A program manager provides leadership and direction for the project managers, having the projects within the program. Because I've told you that a program is a group of related projects, and each of these projects will have its own project manager. So the program manager coordinates the activities of all the project managers in that. So for example, common programs in the IT field include infrastructure. That's when you're undertaking an infrastructure. Application development, and then user support. You can have infrastructure and divide them into various projects so that you have managers for each particular project undertaken. So project portfolio management. As part of these project portfolio management, organizations, groups, and managers manage projects and programs as a portfolio of investment. Okay, so normally what we're saying is that as part of project portfolio management, organizations normally group and manage projects and programs as a portfolio of what? Investment that contribute to the entire enterprise success. So portfolio managers help the organizations make wise investment decisions by helping to select and analyze projects from a strategic perspective. So here what we are saying is that portfolio management helps organizations to make wise investment decisions by doing what? Helping them to select and analyze projects from strategic perspective. You do not just go in and then start undertaking just any project. You take projects and invest in what? Strategically, those that will help bring profit and success to the organization. Okay? So how do you make decisions on what projects to take? It's very important. Okay, so let's look at this. We have what we call portfolio management and project management. Project management involves tactical goals, while portfolio management involves strategic goals. For instance, in portfolio management, are we working on the right projects? That is project selection. What we are doing, is it the right project we should be undertaking? Are we investing in the right areas? You go to your organization, you look at the trends and you say, oh, I want us to undertake this project because I know it is going to bring this. Then you sit down and analyze. If we do this, we do that, we're going to get this and go to what, and so on and so forth. That is portfolio management. Do we have the right resources to be competitive? So normally, portfolio management goes with the overall organizational objective as to what you want to achieve. You're a bank. You want to achieve a customer population of, let's say, 1,000 within the next 3 months. What projects do you undertake to achieve that? Okay? That is managing portfolio. And then when we come to project management, are we carrying out projects well? That is when you have finished your portfolio management and you know the exact projects you are undertaking. Then when you're undertaking the project, that is where project management comes in. Are we carrying out the project well? Are projects on time and budget? Do project stakeholders know what they should be doing? These involve project, but portfolio management goes with the overall organizational strategy and goals. So best practice is an optimal way. Best practice is an optimal way recognized by industry to achieve a stated goal or objective. So let's take this from Robert Bertrick, who suggests that organizations need to follow basic principles for project management, including these two mentioned earlier in this chapter. So just make sure that projects are driven by your strategy. Be able to demonstrate how each project you undertake fits your business strategy and screen out unwanted projects as soon as possible. So when you have undertaken the entire portfolio, the portfolio management normally goes with several projects that should be undertaken for organizational success. Now you sift out the unwanted projects, okay, and then probably you throw them away. Okay, so engage your stakeholders. Ignoring stakeholders often leads to project failure. Be sure to engage stakeholders at all stages of project and encourage teamwork and commitment at all times. Okay, this is by Project Management Institute, Organizations for Project Management Maturity Model, that is OPM3 Knowledge Foundation, and that was developed around 2003. So let's look at this sample project portfolio approach. We have marketing, HR material, that's IT portfolio categories. Okay, and then we have venture, transform the business, discretionary cost, growth, that is what you grow the business, and then run the business. So you begin by running the business, and then how will the business grow, and then ventures that will transform the business. The first one is non-discretionary costs. That is when you run the business. And then between growth and transform, we have what we call discretionary costs. So in overall, we have marketing as one component, HR as one component, IT as a component, and materials as a component of the portfolio categories. Now, we have Microsoft Project Portfolio Management capabilities. That is a PPM solution. We have a software that are used to manage this kind of portfolios. So you get started, get anywhere, and so on and so forth. I think we shall be going through this particular portfolio as we progress through the course. Now, the role of project manager. That is, what is the role of the project manager? Your job description varies, but most include responsibilities like planning, scheduling, coordinating, and working with people to achieve the project goals. So I want you to remember that if you are the project manager, over 90%, 97% of the project success were led by experienced project managers who can often help influence success factors. So a project manager should be able to influence success factors of a project. And that is it. So suggested skills for a project manager. The project manager or project management knowledge body of a knowledge application areas, standards and regulations. You should be able to know the standards, the regulations involved in a particular project. Then project environment knowledge, we have general management knowledge and skills. And then soft skills or human relations. If you can manage human beings, trust me, you can manage any project. Okay? So you require all these skills to be able to manage well projects. Now, 10 most important skills that for a project manager. First of all, we could have people skills, how to manage people, leadership skills. You must have leadership skills. Other than that, trouble. Then every good leader also has a way of listening. We have integrity, ethical behavior, and it should be consistent. Okay? Strong at building trust. People must trust you. Verbal communication, how to talk to people, how to convince people. Strong at building teams. Should be able to bring people together immediately to solve a problem. Conflict resolution skills, conflict management skills, and so on. And then critical thinking and problem solving skills. And they should be able to understand and balance priorities. In fact, we will talk about some of these skills when we go to human resource management. And then different skills needed in different situations. Okay, large projects, that's for large project leaders, relevant prior experience, planning, people skills, verbal communication, and team skills are most important. High uncertainty projects, risk management is very important. Expectations management, that's expectation management, leadership, and people skills and planning skills were most important. That is for high uncertainty projects. And then very novel projects, leadership, people skills, having vision and goals, self-confidence, expectation management, and listening skills were most. So you see that for each particular project, certain factors or skills run through, okay? And it's good for every project leader to have most of these skills. So importance of leadership skills. Effective project managers provide leadership by example. So a leader focuses on long-term goals and big picture objectives while inspiring people to reach these goals. The reason is simple. Some people may not know exactly what they want to achieve. They look at the short, immediate, long-term. If you're not able to convince them to look ahead, then there will be apathy. Okay? So you, the leader, that have the big picture to be able to, rogue in all the staff to be able to see the bigger picture too. A manager deals with the day-to-day details of a meeting specific goals. But a project manager often takes the whole role of both leader and manager. So take note of that. So careers for IT project management. Okay? In 2014, a survey, IT executives listed the 10 hottest skills they plan to hire, okay, for 2015. And project management was second, only to the programming and application development. Even if you choose to stay in a technical role, you still need project management knowledge and skill to help your team and organization. Because listen, if you are a software developer, every software development is a project activity. You need your team and you need project management skills to be able to. If you execute network infrastructure for companies, every activity you undertake is a project. Therefore, you need these skills to be able to do that. So the 10 hottest skills here, we have programming and application development, project management came second, help desk or technical support, security, compliance and governance, web development, database administration, business intelligence, analytics, and so on and so forth. But in effect, we saw that project management came second, okay, on the 10 hottest IT skills that are required. So the project management profession, so the profession of project management is growing at a very rapid pace. It is helpful to understand the history of the field, the role of professional societies like Project Management Institute, and the growth in project management software. A lot of open source project management softwares are coming out on a daily basis, and we have a lot of proprietary softwares too that helps every project manager to actually undertake a project. And you should have skills in these softwares, okay? And then, so some of the history. Some of the people argue that the building of the Egyptian pyramids were a project. Do you agree? Such as what? And so as what? The building of the Great Wall of China. Most people consider the Manhattan Project to be the first projects use what? Modern project management approach. So the Manhattan Project, what is it? It's the first project that were undertaken by United States, Canada, and the allied countries in developing nuclear weapons during the Second World War. That's the Manhattan Project. And people consider that one as the first project, modern project that were undertaken using project management skills. And then this 3 years, okay, over $2 billion, that was around $1946 projects, had a separate project manager and a technical team. I'm talking of the Manhattan Project. That was undertaken around 1946. The development of the atomic bomb and the most nuclear weapons that were developed during the Second World War. No, sample Gantt charts. We will be going through some of these applications as we go through and how to use them to manage projects. And then we have network diagrams. Like I said, we shall be using some of them. Project Management Office. Okay? We have what we call a Project Management Office. That's an organizational group responsible for coordinating the project management function throughout an organization. We have the PMO, okay? And they oversee all project management activities that are in. So let's see growth in the number of project management office. In year 2000, we have 47, 2006 around 77, and then 2010 around 84, and then 2014 came to 80, meaning it started decreasing around. Currently, I don't have the current situation. You can also find out the growth of the number of project management offices in an organization. So let's look at some of the global issues with regards to project management. Several global dynamics are forcing organizations to rethink their practice. First of all, talent development for project and program managers is a top concern. Most people that undertake some of these projects like software development, network infrastructure, and IT security projects normally will want their people to go for training, okay, to undertake some of these projects. So good project portfolio management is a crucial in tight economic conditions. Basic project management techniques are core competencies, and organizations want to use more agile approaches to project management. And benefits realization of projects is a key metric because you can't ignore that. So Project Management Institute, that is PMI, is an international professional society for project managers and was founded around 1969. It has continued to attract and retain members, reporting more than 449,000 members worldwide in the late 2014. And there are communities of practices in many areas like information systems, financial services, and healthcare. And project management research and certification program continue to grow. Currently, when you complete your first degree IT, you can take a certification in project management course. Okay, you get a certificate for that, and you become a professional project manager. Okay, that helps you. Most organizations nowadays will require that additional certificate before they hire you to manage their project. So take note of that. There are some of them that you can, then you can join the association, that is Project Management Institute, and you become a member. So some organizations also require that you are a member of this organization in order to hire you as a project manager. So project management certification, just like what I just said, provide certification as a project management professional. So go the PMP professional. And it has documented sufficient project experience, agreed to follow code of ethics, and pass a PMP exams. A number of people earning PMP certification is increasing quickly. So probably see the chart, the graph. As of 2014, we have 658,523 what? People who are taking the certification exam. You could be one of them. So ethics in project management. We have ethics. It is loosely defined and a set of principles that guide our decision making based on personal values of what is right and wrong. Okay? Project managers face ethical dilemmas in order to end. Some of these things, we've learned them in what? Computer ethics. But project management has its own ethics that it should have. So in order to earn PMP certification, applicants must agree to PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. Several questions of PMP exams are related to professional responsibility, and ethics is included. So take note. So project management software are some of them. I mentioned them to you. Okay, some are low cost, open source. Others are what? High price, proprietary softwares that helps in what? Managing projects. Okay, so far in this chapter, we've defined what a project is, and then we've defined what a project management is, we've defined what a program is, and we've also defined portfolio management. Project management have a key role. We have enumerated some of them, and the project management profession continues to grow. So take note, and I hope you have enjoyed this introductory course. Keep reading ahead of me, and I believe that by the end of the lesson, of the course, we should be able to achieve what we set out to achieve. God bless you all, and then stay safe in this COVID era. Thank you.